Why Gnostic Christians should not use the word sacrament. The English word sacrament originates from the Ecclesiastical Latin sacramentum, derived from sacrō, to hallow, consecrate, which in turn comes from sacer, sacred, holy. The Latin term was used to translate the Greek word mysterion, which appears in the New Testament and early Christian writings. Over time, Mysterion came to be associated with specific religious rites in the developing Christian tradition, leading to the concept of sacraments as outward, physical signs of inward grace. However, Gnostic Christians should reconsider using this term, as it misrepresents the true nature of Gnostic teachings. The meaning of Mysterion in Gnostic texts. The Gospel of Philip states, "The Master did everything in a mystery: baptism, chrism, Eucharist, redemption, and bridal chamber. For this reason, he said, I have come to make the lower like the upper and the outer like the inner, and to unite them in that place." He spoke here in symbols and images. Some claim that this passage refers to 5 Gnostic sacraments, similar to how sacraments function in Catholicism or Eastern Orthodoxy. However, this interpretation is misleading. The Greek word mysterion, does not mean sacrament in the later ecclesiastical sense. Instead, it refers to something hidden, secret, or revealed only through divine knowledge. Vine's expository dictionary of Old and New Testament words explains. In the New Testament, it denotes not the mysterious, as with the ang word, but that which, being outside the range of unassisted natural apprehension, can be made known only by divine revelation, and is made known in a manner and at a time appointed by God, and to those only who are illumined by his Spirit. 1981, Vol. 3, p. 97. The use of Mysterion in the Gospel of Philip aligns with this definition. It does not denote physical sacraments, but rather refers to hidden truths revealed through spiritual insight. The rituals mentioned, baptism, chrism, Eucharist, redemption, and the bridal chamber, should not be understood as external religious ceremonies, but as symbolic acts representing deeper spiritual realities. The absence of sacraments in early Christianity. The term sacrament did not appear in Christian theology for some time. The Acts of the Apostles describes practices such as baptism, Acts 2:38, and the breaking of bread, Acts 2:41-42. But these were described by their specific names, not as part of a broader sacramental system. The theological framework of sacraments as means of grace was a later development, influenced by institutional Christianity. Additionally, the Bible does not teach that salvation is granted through religious rites. Rather, salvation comes through knowledge of God and the transformative power of spiritual enlightenment. This is consistent with Gnostic teachings, which emphasize direct personal knowledge, gnosis, over external rituals. A more accurate translation of the Gospel of Philip. Given the original meaning of Mysterion, the passage from the Gospel of Philip could be better translated as follows. The Lord did everything in a sacred secret, a baptism, an anointing, a Eucharist, a redemption, and a bridal chamber. For this reason, he said, I have come to make the lower like the upper and the outer like the inner, and to unite them in that place. He spoke here in symbols and images. This translation clarifies that the text refers to hidden spiritual truths rather than sacramental rituals. The passage explicitly states that Jesus spoke in symbols and images, reinforcing the idea that these mysteries are not physical acts, but representations of deeper spiritual realities. The rejection of sacraments by Gnostic movements. Historically, Gnostic groups such as the Cathars and Bogomils rejected the sacraments of the institutional church, viewing them as corrupt and meaningless. The Catholic Church itself was seen as being in league with the devil. They did not venerate icons or relics, and they refused to view the Eucharist as a literal sacrament. Instead, they interpreted it allegorically, consistent with their belief that true communion with God comes through knowledge, not through physical rituals. Why Gnostic Christians should avoid the term sacrament. Gnostic Christians should avoid the term sacrament for several reasons. 1. Focus on inner knowledge. Gnosticism prioritizes spiritual insight, gnosis, over external religious practices. Using the term sacrament implies a dependence on physical rituals rather than direct divine knowledge. 2. Rejection of institutional Christianity. The sacramental system is a product of ecclesiastical Christianity, which many Gnostic traditions view as an extension of the material world rather than a true path to enlightenment. 3. Clarification of meaning. The word Mysterion in early Christian and Gnostic texts refers to hidden truths, not ritualized sacraments. Using sacrament misrepresents the original intent of these writings. 4. Symbolic interpretation. Gnostics interpret the Eucharist, baptism, and other rituals symbolically, rather than as means of receiving divine grace through physical acts. Calling them sacraments obscures their true meaning. Conclusion. The use of the word sacrament imposes a foreign theological framework onto Gnostic Christianity. The Greek Mysterion refers to hidden spiritual truths, not physical rituals. The Gospel of Philip makes clear that Jesus' actions were symbolic, meant to reveal inner divine knowledge. Historical Gnostic movements rejected sacramental theology, emphasizing spiritual enlightenment over outward ceremonies. For these reasons, Gnostic Christians should avoid using the term sacrament and instead emphasize the mysteries as symbolic acts pointing toward deeper spiritual truths.